to address some comments and things that people have mentioned. Yes, you are correct. To show this, I do have to pull the trigger. I filmed another video. Don't know if it'll be out, but it's out yet. If it is, there'll be a card to it. So you can go watch that if you want. Going over whether or not other striker fire guns are susceptible to the same issue. We found that yes, in fact, both of those Glock clones are, because they have some looser tolerances. It's a PSA Dagger full-size SX and a Shadow Systems, which one is this? XR920 Foundation. I don't know if Shadow Systems standard line or the higher line has the same tolerance issues, but those 100% are tolerance on the slide to the rails. That I actually have no reason to think, especially with how similar the internals are to this Gen 5 Glock. I don't have a Gen 3 Glock, so can't fully show it. But this has next to no play in it. This 365 has no play in it. This is a 47, by the way. This has just about no play in it, and none of these do it. Go watch that if you're curious. If it's out, I'll link it wherever, who knows. So there's some concerns that I have that I've looked into with this. So first, yes, I have to pull the trigger, or engage the trigger, not pull it all the way. On mine, I have to pull it really far, actually. So that's the actual trigger pull. I'll do it one more time. Okay. So to get mine to engage based on the slide, it's actually similar with those two. I have to pull it right to the edge before that wall. So right about there, and it goes off. And yeah, it looked like my finger did the work. Again, if you watch the other video, that's because I'm already putting tension on it, and dropping this releases any tension on the trigger. So my finger falls on it. I'm not doing the whole sticky thingy in there. Now, here's another problem. I have a Holosun tool here. You see this back plate? Well, guess what? That sear is right down there. Let's do this. I'm doing this through the camera, so I might miss. That shouldn't happen. In case you were curious, that's a Holosun tool. That's how much room this thing has. Golly, I can't see through the camera. All right, so I don't... Golly, man, these freaking gloved hands. I don't actually put a whole lot of pressure down there. And in fact, it's not touching the sear right now. It's slightly under. So right there, the flathead of the Holosun tool is touching the sear. Okay? Yep, right there. Guess what? That is next to no pressure put on there. So yes, I know. Again, all the people who are going to say something, wow, you made it go off by sticking something in it. Yeah, I did. I can't make any of these go off in the same way. Okay? In fact, I actually went to a local gun shop and picked up a few P320s there. I did not purchase them. That made it sound like I bought them. I literally physically picked them up. I couldn't test this because they had a trigger lock on it. And I wasn't going to be like, hey, can I see if any of yours go off? I picked up an X5 Legion, by the way. Great feeling gun. Same frame. Actually, no, I think same frame, just longer slide. I don't think it's a full length frame. Anyways, felt phenomenal. It was amazing. But when I looked back here, there was even more room to get to that striker than that. Now, the question with this is, well, doesn't the sear block get that? And I'll show you two different sounds. I don't know if the mic will even pick it up. But, so I'll show you this sound again, so you hear it. Okay. And then, let me show you this sound. Slightly different. Let me do it again. Okay. So again, first sound. Okay. Second sound. Okay, slightly different. That second sound is the full sound of it dropping, because that is the exact sound it sounds like when you pull the trigger, other than a boom. In case you were wondering, one is just me dropping that sear, no trigger involvement, which you can hear it get caught. Okay, that got caught. I don't have anything to actually throw in here. I can't find my snap caps. This is the actual trigger sound. That little squish at the end isn't in there when you just do this. Wrong side. Okay, but if I disengage that striker safety literally by going to the wall, is all it takes. If there were a case in there, it would have gone off. Now, obviously, this is commanded. I am doing this intentionally. Okay, it's not an uncommanded, you know, I shake it or whatever, right? I can't get mine to do that. And I have a feeling it's because it's on the higher tolerance of that, or of the spec. There's less tolerance stacking issues here. However, that shouldn't be an excuse. In fact, those, even with their trigger blade safety, that shouldn't be a possibility for that to happen just because there's enough play in the slide. I cannot get mine to go off uncommanded, and I actually have a feeling from looking pretty in depth into the internals and looking through what a lot of people have said and the evidence that I can find of these going off uncommanded, which isn't a lot. I don't think that it has anything to do with, you know, a bit of dust getting in somewhere. It could. I literally think it has to do solely with tolerance stacking on the gun. And from what I can tell, most of these uncommanded discharges are from duty holsters. Not all, most. And I know there's people out there who can get theirs to go off literally by doing this. That'd be funny if it went off. And just shaking it a certain way. Or dropping it a certain way, which I actually have a feeling isn't because it's not drop safe. I guarantee, based on what I found with mine, mine's drop safe. I think it's the tolerancing issue that makes some of them not drop safe. Now, that being said, I don't know which ones. I'm not saying for sure that's the case. So here's another factor in a lot of the issues with the 320, right? It's the holster. I don't have a level 3 holster for the 320, but here's level 3 for Glock. The only big difference between these is this hood right here, right? Functionally, it doesn't change much else inside the holster. So from this point, they are essentially the same holsters. Let's throw that over there. But this, I have smacked it up against this table a million times. I've punched it, I've dropped it, I've wiggled it like crazy. I can't get it to actually drop the... Yeah, I went and put stuff on it so I could fit it in the holster. I can't actually get this one to ND or uncommanded discharge, but that doesn't mean the issue doesn't exist. It means it doesn't happen on this one, which could, again, I feel like I've said it a million times, my tolerancing might be fine. This gun will probably never go off by itself. Most of these will probably never go off by themselves, even with the tolerancing issue and being able to go with it, okay? I tried it with this other frame. This is the compact frame. Nothing drastically different there. I actually think it has a little more play on that, giving the trigger less room to have to be pulled to be able to flip and disengage it. But I'm going to pop this out, throw some gloves on, and we're going to look at the striker assembly in the actual FCU outside of the frame and slide.